Published time, the 13th of February 2019, 14:59. The U.S. staked a claim on half the world, as Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Jim Inhofe said Washington might have to intervene in Venezuela if Russia dares set up a military base not just there, but in our hemisphere. I think that it could happen, Inhofe, our Oklahoma, told a group of reporters on Tuesday. You've got a guy down there that is killing everybody. You could have him put together a base that Russia would have on our hemisphere. And if those things happen, it may be to the point where we'll have to intervene with troops and respond, should Russia dare encroach on the U.S. neck of the woods. Inhofe said, we have to take whatever action necessary to stop them from doing that. Also on RT.com, U.S. lost all sense of shame in handling Venezuelan crisis. Lavrov as opposition leader Juan Guaido vies for power. The Russian government has stuck by President Nicolas Maduro. Russia has not, however, promised military aid to Maduro, and Russian diplomat Alexander Shedinin said on Monday that Venezuela has not requested military aid from Moscow. After Guaido declared himself interim president of Venezuela last month, U.S. President Donald Trump immediately recognized Guaido as Venezuela's legitimate leader. Since then, the U.S. has pledged humanitarian aid to Guaido, called on Venezuela's military to support him, and slapped Maduro's government with fresh economic sanctions. Maduro has denounced Washington's sponsorship of Guaido as a vile coup attempt but nevertheless called for talks with the opposition leader. The U.S. has outright rejected taking part in any discussions with Maduro. The U.S. has stopped short of deploying troops to Venezuela, despite Trump and National Security Advisor John Bolton both saying the option is on the table. Speaking on Tuesday, Inhofe agreed and suggested that Trump could launch a military operation in Venezuela without congressional authorization. I don't think it's necessary, he said. If there is a threat that reaches the threshold of the president having the ability, the constitutional ability of deploying troops, then that's an unknown. We don't know right now. Also on RT.com, you don't get to authorize U.S. military interventions. U.S. Rep. Kana to Venezuela's Guaido. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov warned the United States against military intervention on Tuesday. Lavrov has warned against all interference in Venezuela's domestic affairs, including the use of force threatened by Washington and which is in violation of international law. The Russian Foreign Ministry said in a statement, our hemisphere. Inhofe said that a flow of Russian troops or weapons into the Western Hemisphere would be a threat to the United States of America. The United States, meanwhile, reads from a different rulebook. The U.S. maintains nearly 800 military bases in over 70 countries worldwide, with a foothold on every continent. And, while Inhofe wants to keep an entire hemisphere free from Russian influence, the U.S. is currently in talks to establish a permanent military base in Poland, right on Russia's doorstep. Given the long history of animosity between Poland and Russia, the Polish government has offered to cough up $2 billion towards setting up the base. Further afield, no hemisphere as beyond the reach of the United States. The U.S. military divides the globe up into 6 combatant command areas of responsibility, which it maintains in times of peace and war. Russia, meanwhile, divides its territory into 4 military districts, all within its own borders. Think your friends would be interested? Share this story.